obviously disappointed we didn't find a way to win this game today. I think you got to take your hat off to Seth Luttrell for finding a way to keep his guys together. They played incredibly hard. There's a lot to be proud of this team. You know, we again lost a starting quarterback, and we really struggled to get anything going for a while. And then we were able to kind of rally the troops. And I thought the defense finding a way to get a stop at the end, and the offense finding a way to take the ball down and send the game into overtime. That's winning football. Now, what we did in overtime is not, and our inability to effectively run the ball and to stop the run, two things that we think are trademarks of our program. And when we can't do those two things, it's going to be hard for the Rice Owls to win. So we've got a lot we got to improve on, and we don't have much time to sit around and sulk because of the NCAA rules. We're practicing tomorrow, and we're right back at it, preparing for a very good Charlotte team. So we'll move forward. This one stinks, and I hate it for our kids that we didn't find a way to win this game.
Open it up for questions.
Hey, Bloom, how is Wiley doing? It was a pretty hard moment, obviously, with the entire team leaving the sidelines to go meet him out on the field.
Yeah. So Wiley Green is one of our leaders, and you can see how much our team loves him. And I think that was very evident. Before I came in here, I had a chance to talk to Wiley. He's at the hospital. He's crushed, right? He's crushed. He's put his heart and soul into this so many times. He just had the best game of his career. And he got to experience the bad part of this great game today. And we are praying for him. We're going to support him through this, and we're going to go forward. But man, we really that was tough. That was tough for our football team. That's always tough. I don't want to make it sound like it wasn't. That stuff cuts deep, and it was a terrible injury, and we love Wiley. So it was hard to go to the next play, but we eventually found a way to, and we will find a way to go to the next play. But we're going to support Wiley every step of the way, of course.
And then on the field, we talked during the week, stopping Dion Noville was going to be priority number one. How do y'all feel that you did against that big picture?
Well, I think big picture, he didn't ruin the game like he did last year. So that's an improvement. He certainly made his share of plays, like he will. Without watching the film, I'm not sure which ones to credit him to, but I thought for the most part, Shea did a good job. I don't remember him being involved with too much push in the backfield and protection. He did make some plays in the run game like good defensive linemen do.
And then at this point, back-to-back games, y'all have averaged now less than like 2.5 a carry. How much can you fix at this point of the season? And how do you get to the point where you can play winning football with the running game like that?
Yeah, I don't know what we averaged per carry of a called run. You know, when you take the big sacks, it affects your rushing numbers. And so, again, I look down right now. I see Kalen Griffin ran 14 times for 47 yards. Jordan ran 11 for 33. And Ari, they were had a pretty good beat on today. So he didn't have as good of a day. You know, there will be things to fix, Matthew. Again, you talk about those cumulative numbers, but we just came out of a performance that we felt pretty good about and our ability to run the ball when we wanted to. So I think there's going to be runs we can find. I believe in our staff. But like I said, like there's a lot of grit on this team right now that although we came up short, the drive that Jake put together at the end to send it into overtime, those are the positives, right? And the fact that we needed to find a way to move the ball in the fourth quarter when we weren't running it very well. And for the most part, we protected pretty dang good. And Jake found people down the field, and that's winning football.
And then I wanted to ask you, it seemed like every time y'all are now 9 for 9 on your last fourth down conversions. Obviously you want the win in the final result, but what has your team figured out in those gotta have it plays that it just keeps coming up right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, there's most of them are reasonably short. The last one certainly wasn't. The last fourth down that we went for was not, but when they're short, you know, you call a play that you believe in. And a lot of times it's one of our short yardage and goal line packages, and that helps. But you saw guys just pull together and find a way to make a play. I mean, that wasn't real pretty on the last fourth down we converted. But Sure, the result sure was. But the fourth down stuff, I'm glad it's going well. You know, we're in it to win it as a coaching staff. We want to be able to go green in those situations for the guys as well. Just like we're asking them to be explosive, we want to give them the chance to be and give them a chance to score points and possess the ball. And, you know, we're doing a good job possessing the ball. You know, we almost double what they had. But again, today it did not add up to a win, that's for sure.
And then one of those pivotal moments in overtime had a penalty that kind of set y'all back. 15 penalties, 114 yards today, both highs from your time here at Rice. Was this what you'd call like a sloppier performance but by the team, or what just wasn't clicking today that kind of led to those results?
Yeah, without seeing the film, Matt, I think that's a hard question to answer. There was certainly the last one was a procedure penalty. It's somebody trying to make sure they got off on the snap to make sure they could get their job done, and they were a count early. And we've got to be disciplined. We've got to make sure those things don't happen. We had 2 fouls that were really bad and really costly. After a big time play, you know, we ended up having to kick off from the 10-yard line. That was costly. So that's not our kind of football. That's not what we talk about or how we want our team to be. So you talk about career highs for penalties. That's a bad thing. Most of them were not pre-snap, but there were 3 that I can think of that were, and that's 3 too many.
And Coach, can you talk a little bit about the 2 Jakes? You talked about quarterback earlier. You know, he came in and led that, you know, fourth quarter drive, and, you know, he was put in a real, you know, difficult situation, you know, when the starting quarterback gets hurt like that. But, yeah, you know, he played pretty well, you know, kept y'all in the game. And then, you know, talk about that. And then also Jake Bailey, you know, he came up with some pretty big catches for you guys.
Yeah, he sure did. So talking about Jake Constantine first, you know, I thought like Jake went in and was, you know, for whatever reason, it may be because we all just saw Wiley, right? But we weren't performing very well as an offense on those first few drives. And Jake was a big part of rallying us together, and a big part of the second half we were able to have and go out there and put some points on the board and some drives together. So again, like being the backup quarterback and preparing like the starter, that's easier said than done. I think Jake did it pretty well this week. And I think, again, he went out there and was able to pull things together pretty well after a rough start for him after us all being part of that injury with Wiley. But it wasn't all Jake for sure at that start either. But now let's talk about as we went. You know, that's the Jake Constantine on that last drive, and the plays he made to Jake Bailey, the plays he made with his feet. He gave us a chance. He gave us a chance to get in the zone. And so my hat's off to him. That's who that kid's been since he's been here. You know, he's been a wild horse rider and finding a way to make plays. And so I really appreciate him. I appreciate the way that he was able to go in there and lead our team on a drive to tie it and send it into overtime. Seems to be a good me-to-you factor between him and Jake Bailey too. You know, those guys, I think, trust each other, and that's always good to see.
Any other questions for Coach? All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
We'll bring up Jake Constantine. All right. Jake, Coach just mentioned the challenge coming in, trying to rally the team after a pretty dramatic moment. Just talk about that process and then working your way through the second half.
Yeah, first off, you just got to feel for a guy like Wiley Green right there. He's been here for a long time, you know, hard worker, team captain, and you just got to love the fight he brought last week and brought our team back up after a tough loss against UTSA. And, you know, shout out to Wiley. That was awesome. I thought he got off to a great start in today's game. And then, you know, I've been through an injury like that. So you just feel for him and you just love him up, and he's still going to be a huge part of this team. And, you know, just going to be behind his back and just make sure he's all right. But, you know, it's not too tough coming in as a backup. You got to be prepared at all times to help the team out and to go forward. So, you know, I just tried my best to, you know, help us win today and came up a little bit short. Definitely think I could fix a few things, mainly on my part, to help us win.
Richard, do you have the first question?
Yeah, you know, Jake, kind of like what Coach was saying, but, you know, the thing is, though, you coming in cold, that you led the team where you had a real good chance of winning. And just talk about that last drive that you had in regulation. I think you guys went like 89 yards or something, just as soon as they scored, and there wasn't that much time left. Just talk about that drive in regulation.
Just nobody quitting. We were on 4th and 10 and backed up and have 90 yards to go. And, guys just fighting to make plays. Jake Bailey dives out and makes a crazy catch, one of the best catches I've seen, and keeps the game going, gives us a chance to win the game. And O-line was fighting their butts off all game. I thought the fight was there. We just got to execute a few things a little bit better, and we win that game. And part of that, most of that starts with me, and that's on me. So I got to step up as the new leader after we lost Wiley and just figure a few things out, and that's on my end and nobody else's.
All right, thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
Especially Jake, in that second half, it felt like you were doing a lot of rolling around and escaping the pocket. How much work do you put into trying to do those, kind of off schedule throws, and how do you think the results of those kind of plays factored into today?
Yeah, I think that's just growing up playing in the backyard with my brothers and my neighbors and all that. I think that just correlates to the game. I've been messing around making those throws since I was a little kid. Even playing baseball, kind of helps me, back in the day when I played baseball, kind of helped me turn me into the athlete I am to make those kind of plays. And, you never plan for those plays to obviously happen because you want to sit in the pocket and, find your reads. But, I thought it was a good job of our team today to, find the open guy and them finding their eyes back to me and connecting eye to eye to see that we can make a extended play like that. And, I definitely think if we keep that going, we can be a really explosive offense and, just try to do our jobs one play at a time and limit the mistakes. Like Coach said earlier, that personal foul on me and Jake was costly. We can't have that happen. I took my helmet off and that hurt us in the long run. So, I learned from that mistake, and so did Jake. So.
And then we were talking about the adversity. Especially late in the fourth quarter, those drives, a lot of short distance, even with time on the clock, they put you in 5 wide and trusted you to make the right throw. You mentioned being the backup coming in, but what does that say about this coaching staff to trust you to be the guy with the ball in your hands with the clock ticking down?
Oh, I love it. I love them. They prepared me this week. I knew I wasn't starting, but I knew I could help the team out in any way if I were to get that opportunity. And I just appreciate this coaching staff and their hard work. We have a pretty meaty game plan, I'd say, week to week, and I think our team does a great job of studying. And we don't take nights off on not studying film and stuff like that. So I feel like our execution's there for the most part. We just got to fix a few small things, and we're right there with a win and closer to a bowl game. So we're definitely not out of the fight into making a bowl game. I think we're a great team and we can easily win three more games. So we just got to keep our heads locked in and stay down.
And you mentioned that bowl game and the UTSA game earlier. It's been highs and highs and lows and lows. So clearly this team doesn't let last week affect them, but how do you kind of start stringing this together? You mentioned needing 3 more wins. How do you kind of get things going on the right track and instead of the hot cold?
Like I said, just kind of, slowing our minds down during the game and, making the right plays and not making silly mistakes. Some of those penalties killed us, and it showed at the end of the game, the score. But, this is a great team, and I love this team. We keep fighting no matter what. We won 2. We were 3-1 going into that game this last month, and then that's a tough loss for us. We would have been 4-1 in the last 5. But I feel for my teammates. It hurts me that we lost and I couldn't help us win. But it's my job to watch as much film as I can and help us win the next game. So I'm gonna do that.
Anything else for Jake?
No, I'm good. Thanks, Chuck.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Jake, thank you. And we'll bring up Elijah Garcia.
How you doing?
All right, Elijah. Just Just a quick opening statement. Tough day for the defense in terms of running. Was there anything that surprised you that they were doing out there in their run game?
No, I mean, we knew that we were going to try to run the ball down the middle, and we game planned all week to to slow them down. And they were a physical team, up front, and we just got to be better filling gaps and just being in position to make those plays. And when we're in position to make the plays, we just got to finish it. So.
All right, throw it up for questions.
Hey, Elijah, it feels like we've talked to you at the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. You're a leader on this defense. Kind of what's the message to your teammates as you kind of go forward after this result?
I mean, this is a tough pill to swallow, I mean, we definitely wanted this one really badly, but we just, we have practice tomorrow, so we're just going to have to come in and just, keep mowing along and just keep grinding away, It's just, I love this team so much, man. It's just, I want to see us at a bowl game at the end of the day. And, I'm going to do my part and just keep chipping away until we get there. So. Yeah.
And then front seven, I know y'all have talked about rush and coverage kind of working together. I know stopping the run was hard, but how do you kind of feel y'all did on getting pressure on the quarterback and forcing him to make plays?
I mean, definitely was in his face a couple of times, got a couple hits on him today. But, like I always say, like he can't throw the ball and they can't make long, bombs if, he's on the ground, the ball. So we got to put it a little more on the D line and, help the guys out in the secondary because, coverage and rush work together. So we just got to do more up front.
How frustrating was it, the fact that every time that you guys scored, they came back and scored the next time?
It's definitely frustrating, I mean, we go out there and we just preach getting 3 outs and getting off the field. We got to help the offense out, just, like we did last week and getting off the field and just stopping them from scoring. So it makes it easier on everybody. We'll be better next week. We're definitely going to look at this film with a critical eye and go back and fix some things for sure.
And then you mentioned next week, for better or worse, some of your bigger wins have come on the road the past couple weeks and years. Ready to turn the page and take a look at Charlotte and get this one passed?
Oh yeah, I mean, what's done is done. I mean, we can't go back and fix it. So all we can do now is just keep moving forward and just get a win next week in Charlotte. I mean, I don't know if we have some good luck on the road, but I mean, guys, look forward to traveling and, I do too. And it's going to be fun. We just got to get in this film and have a great week of practice and just put our best foot forward on Saturday. So we'll be ready.